Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Vaudois Sports YouTube channel. The Premier League is back this week, which means I'm joined by Ollie Wade and Jack Murphy to bring you the FPL Roundup, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa.
It's bigger, it's back, and it's better than ever. We've got new employers this time, new oil money, bringing you the best FPL Roundup possible. Lads, are we excited for the return of the Premier League?
Beyond
Absolutely buzzing, Tiz. Absolutely buzzing.
It has been 3 very long months without football in England, which means we've had no fantasy Premier League for months. And to be quite frank, I've missed it, despite not doing my team every other week. It's been weird not every now and then scrolling through my team.
I've been lost. My time at Park Life Sport was pretty much spent focusing on the FPL Roundup every week. So bringing it back, I can't wait to get it back.
It's long overdue, I think.
Definitely.
Being able to bring it back in this new format is something I'm very excited for. So we'll get straight into it. Round 28 is where we start. Aston Villa and Sheffield United and Man City versus Arsenal are the two games that kick off the return of the Premier League season. The Aston Villa-Sheffield United game is a bit of a meh game to return to. Well, it's a big game for Villa. They need it. We'll focus on the Man City-Arsenal game. That is a huge game. Jack, what are you thinking there?
Obviously, Man City's got really nothing to play for at the moment, really, because they might not even get Champions League next season because of their ban. If you remember, I know it's many months ago that this was in the headlines, but they've still got to compete with Leicester for second place. So I think they will put out a really good team against Arsenal. So for my FPL team, because they've also got a double game week as well, so all four of those teams, like you said, Villa, Sheffield United, Man City, and Arsenal have all got double game weeks. So I think it's a very good option to choose as many of those players as you can. So I've gone for Otamendi, De Bruyne, and Aguero for Man City, home to Arsenal. But
they are some huge FPL picks, Murph. You've taken up a lot of your budget there.
Yeah, definitely, but it's worth it. For De Bruyne, he's got 26 goal contributions this season. Aguero's second top goal scorer in the league, and he's been injured for half of it. 2 home games to Arsenal and Burnley. I think they're going to absolutely run riot in these 2 games. I think they could score 10 plus goals over the course of the 2 games. I think it could be some huge points to pick up.
Ollie, are you of the same opinion? Some big Man City players there?
Yeah. I mean, De Bruyne and Aguero, I think, are ones that are obvious. Obviously, very, very expensive, like we said. But I think Aguero, especially, is someone that a lot of people are picking, along with De Bruyne, actually. But Aguero is just a goal-scoring machine. And obviously, like Murph said, they're going to be battling Leicester for that second place in the league, and they want it. So they're going to be fighting hard to get that. And I think Aguero is the main man up front to get them those goals. And I think he will done right.
Have Arsenal got any hope in this match?
Oh yeah, of course they do. Because it's obviously the football hasn't been here for 3 months. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, we've seen friendlies. Arsenal played in a friendly against Brentford, who are a very good Championship side. I expect them actually to be the 3rd team to go up in the Championship next year. They've got a brilliant squad. Arsenal lost to Brentford. Everyone's obviously going, oh, they've lost to a Championship side. They're going to get destroyed by City. But you can't base it on that after they haven't played for 3 months. Brentford are a very good team, like I said. And they've obviously got a chance, Arsenal, so you can't rule them out. But obviously City are favourites.
Have you got any Arsenal players in your team, Jack?
So I've got pretty much the opposite opinion to Ollie, really. I don't think Arsenal have got a chance against Man City at all. Maybe against Brighton, but Brighton beat up the Emirates earlier on this season. So who's to say that they're going to go to Brighton Stadium and win? So I've only gone for Martinelli for Arsenal.
That's quite a left field pick.
Because I don't want to waste so much money on Aubameyang when, in my opinion, I think Arsenal are going to struggle in both games. Defensively, they're not going to be able to cope against City. So what's the point in having an Arsenal defender when they're just going to lose you points? Midfielders, who have they got that contributes to the midfield?
Well, I've got Guendouzi.
Guendouzi, because he's cheap, yeah. Martinelli.
But that's why I can get Aguero in.
Martinelli is the only reason I've gone with him because he's got 2 games. I think he's going to play even if he comes on as a sub because remember they've got the new 5 sub rule, so he's going to play at least some minutes in both games. He's proven this season he can score against big teams like Chelsea. He scored in FA Cup ties and League Cup ties for Arsenal, so I think he's going to get some minutes. But I've got no hope for Arsenal in both games. That's why I've gone for a cheap option.
It's not good news for you, Arsenal fans. It looks like you're going to be losing. We'll move on now to round 30, which is when the Premier League is fully back. Those 2 games are just the catch-up ones from the Carabao Cup final back at the end of February. So we'll go on to Friday night. Tottenham versus Man United. That is the first big game of the weekend. Tottenham, Man United, both are fighting. Both want that top 4 spot. It's looking like it's going to be tough for them. But have you, given it such a high stakes game, is there anybody that you think stands out up from either of those 2 teams?
Yeah, there are a couple from both, obviously. We've got Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, I think the obvious ones for Spurs. And then for United, got Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion. In my team, I have reluctantly gone for Fernandes just because of how influential he was when coming in. In January, he looked brilliant. He was getting assists, getting goals. He's their penalty taker. And yeah, he's very influential to that midfield. And I don't actually expect Paul Pogba to start against Spurs. I don't think he'll put him in straight away because of how well they were playing before with that midfield working well. I'm not sure he's going to put him in, but obviously that would be a big call if he didn't. And it's a big call for me to say it as well. But I don't actually expect him to start Pogba.
United fans, we're getting very excited about that Pogba-Fernandes link-up, but Wader doesn't think it will happen. But am I surprised by United getting hyped up by something that isn't going to live up to expectation? Absolutely not. We'll move on to the rest of the weekend's action. We got the likes of Watford, Leicester. Leicester are in good form, pushing for that top 4, are in the top 4. But Watford, before the last episode of the Park Life FPL Roundup, we called Watford's defeat over Liverpool.
That was the highlight of my journalistic career. That was
Liverpool 3, Liverpool 0. Watford 3, Liverpool 0. What a result that was. So could you see Watford doing a number on Leicester?
Yeah, I think I could. Before lockdown started and obviously the Premier League got postponed, my last sub was to bring in Sarr because he had a great game against Liverpool. I think he got a goal and 2 assists at home to Liverpool. So I thought he was going to recreate that at home to Leicester. I haven't got him now because obviously it's been 2.5 months. So you don't know who's going to play for any team in the league at this moment in time. He's quite expensive. And Leicester as well, I've only gone for Soyuncu just because you don't know who's going to play. They've got so many outfield options. Vardy's a bit expensive come this time of the season. Harvey Barnes, I think Ollie, fan of Harvey Barnes, isn't he?
So Harvey Barnes is cheap. Okay, and you look at the midfielders and the points they've got. He's, I think, 6th or 7th down, but he's the cheapest one by far in that list. And then it continues to go on as well, and he's still the cheapest in there. I think he's a very underrated player, and I think he would be a very good pick to put in your teams, Harvey Barnes, for this final run-in.
Well, the other games. Go on, Murph. Go on, you go.
I was just going to say it's a good tactic at this point in the season, especially to go for these cheap players in midfield. You've got players like Adama Traore, 5.7 million, who's on the form.
That was a huge surprise to me.
Todd Cantwell was only 4.7 million, and Norwich have got a fairly easy run in. I know they're probably going to get relegated, but home to Southampton, I'd expect Cantwell to do at least something. And then, like Ollie said, Harvey Barnes, another cheap option, been incredible all season, and especially away to Watford, who are a relegation form team, it could produce something magical. So
I think what you've got to think about now, like you said, Todd Cantwell, Norwich are going to be fighting. They're going to come out of this 3 months fighting for their lives. And you've got to think about those players from those teams that, potentially, especially the attackers for like Norwich, maybe not the defence, but the attackers especially, they're going to want to go full pelt for this. They're going to battle.
It could be a Pookie party too.
I've had a chance to think about it. Like the likes of Cantwell and Pookie, I think especially for Norwich, could be massive picks early on. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I reckon that could be a good option.
Well, the rest of the games on Saturday, you got Brighton, Arsenal, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth and Palace. Bournemouth Palace, first game on BBC in the Premier League era. So that'll be an interesting one, see how that goes out. But then you go on to Sunday and you've got 3 games on Sunday. The early one is Newcastle, Sheffield United. Then you got Villa, Chelsea. And then after that, you've got the big Merseyside derby. Murph?
Yeah.
It'd be hard to pick against any other Liverpool players in that, but they're going to come at a price.
Yeah, of course they are. And every single Liverpool player, you look through the transfer fee for them on the app. Every single one of them is so expensive for a reason. All of them are performing exceptionally well this season. For me personally, I've stuck with the 2 I had before, and that's Trent and Mane. They've been trusty for me all season. Trent's got 20 plus assists in all competitions. I think he's got 12 in the league. He's going to continue to take corners, free kicks for Liverpool, and I'd expect Liverpool to go to Goodison Park and get a win. Mane's been in exceptional form in the friendlies like before that we head into these. I know they're only friendlies, so you can't really judge a lot off that. But I'd expect Liverpool to carry on where they left off in the league and just carry on getting W's.
And finally, Man City, Burnley on Monday. Ollie, someone you're very familiar with as a West Brom fan, Jay Rodriguez. Do you think he could pull up any trees against Man City on Monday at the Etihad?
He did it against United, didn't he? At Old Trafford.
Great goal, that.
Worldy. This could be a step too far. I think City are level to United. No offence to United fans.
Yeah, I agree.
For the minute, anyway. So, Burnley are a dodgy team to play against. Everyone knows that. And they'll go to Man City with wanting to pull off another exceptional result. Maybe they can do it, and maybe Jay Rodriguez will be the man.
Right, before we round out the show, Jack and Ollie, I want 2 picks from you that you would put in your team for the return of the Fantasy Premier League season.
Murph, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, I'll go first. So like I said, double game week fixture. So it's going to be a week for picking those people who've got 2 games. So I've gone for one of them was definitely going to be Jack Grealish for me. Home to Sheffield United and home to Chelsea. Grealish has proven this season that he can get goals and assists. I think he's got 8 of both in the league this season. So giving him 2 fixtures, he's going to get a minimum of at least an assist in these 2 games. So I expect him to pick up a good 10 points. And then the other one, it's not really an interesting pick. I've gone for Kevin De Bruyne. You have to pick one of the big Man City players, De Bruyne or Aguero. De Bruyne, 25 goal contributions this season. He's definitely going to produce something against Burnley or Arsenal.
Yep, and very quickly, Ollie, before we run out of time, who are you going with in your team?
So, like Murph said, I've the Man City players, but I went for Aguero. Just something different to De Bruyne. It's going to double game week, both at home. I'm sure he's going to grab at least a goal or 2. And then I've also gone for Sheffield United goalkeeper Dean Henderson. He's got the most clean sheets, is it, this season? And he's got Villa and Newcastle, both away, but Villa and Newcastle quite far down the table. I expect him to keep at least 1 clean sheet, yeah.
Well, lads, as I was saying before, we were so rudely interrupted. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're both looking forward to return of the Premier League season and, most importantly, return of the Fantasy Premier League. Those are Ollie and Jack's picks, but who are you putting in your team? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the Vodwar Sports YouTube channel, follow us on all our social medias, links are in the description. And yeah, we'll see you at the weekend with another draft video, hopefully. But most importantly, the Premier League is back. See you next time, guys.
Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
Fucking damn it! Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.